Hi, thanks for joining me today. I wanted to share with you one of my favorite yoga flows, vinyasa, to do in the morning, or you can do this anytime that you need a quick movement practice to warm up, like before you're riding, or if you're doing some other type of fitness activity. But again, I usually like to do this first thing in the morning. Really gets my body going in the morning. So if you have some yoga blocks, have those handy. You'll have the option to use them later if you'd like. If you don't, you can substitute a stack of books or even a firm cushion or a small stool. And I also have behind me a folded up blanket, so a blanket or a cushion maybe for later if you would like. So we're going to start low to the ground in wide-legged child pose, wide-knee child pose. So come to table pose, come to all fours, bring your big toes together, bring your knees towards the outside edges of the mat and the hands towards the outside edges. Think of shining the sternum forward, take your gaze forward, send your sit bones back towards your heels and let the forehead release down to the mat. If your forehead doesn't come all the way down, you can use one of those yoga blocks to let your forehead rest on. Again, you can use a firm cushion or that blanket folded up, or even just make fists with your hands and stack your hands up and let your head rest on your hands. But find a comfortable position here. Just notice any sensations in your body. Noticing the connection that your body's making with the earth. And then starting to bring awareness to your breath and to your breathing. Noticing each inhale and exhale, moving in and out of the nose. And then slowly begin to lengthen and deepen the breath. Think of lengthening the exhales, deepening the inhales. And as you breathe, think of feeling the back of the body expand with the inhale. And then think of letting the body sink a little closer to the mat as you exhale. Another full deep breath here, in and out. And then as you take your next inhale, press into the hands, come up to table pose. So bring your knees under your hips and your wrists under your shoulders. Press into the fingertips, the base of the knuckles, press into the tops of the feet. Think of drawing the lowest ribs towards the hips and make sure the head's not collapsed down. So think of the head as an extension of the spine. So crown of the head lengthening forward. And then as you take your next exhale, round the spine, draw the belly up towards the spine rounding up towards the ceiling or sky, depending on where you are. And then send the sit bones back, lengthen the front of the body, taking the gaze forward and up, coming into our cow pose, extension of the spine. So keep that going with the breath. Exhale, rounding the body into flexion. And then inhale, sending the sit bones back, and take that nice extension through the spine. Get a couple more times. Exhale. Notice any areas of tightness or tension as you're moving. So one more inhale into extension, exhale, spine into flexion, and then inhale, come back to neutral, back to your table pose. Now bring the hands one handprint in front of the shoulders and maybe even a tiny bit wider side to side. And then curl the toes under, lift the knees, send your sit bones up and back, come to a bent knee downward facing dog. So really stay up on the toes, knees bent, crown of the head lengthening towards the hands. Find that nice length in your spine. And then slowly pedal through the feet. So press down through one heel, get a nice stretch at the back of that leg. And then bend that knee, straighten the other leg. So do this nice and slow and gentle, just warming up, not doing it quickly. Don't use the momentum. Just use this nice, slow and gentle movement side to side with the legs. Pressing down through one heel as the opposite knee's bending, and then go to the opposite side. And then either keeping both knees bent or straightening the legs if that feels good for you. Bring a little bit more weight into the left foot and the left heel. Lift the right leg up, hip height or a little higher, three-legged dog. Keep those toes pointing down. Draw the lower belly in. Look towards the hands. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Draw your knee towards your chest, and then step that foot all the way up beside the right hand. Lower the left knee down and curl the toes. Make sure the right heel is under the knee. Press into the feet. Inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead. Fingertips extend up. Think lowest ribs drawing towards the hips. Inhale and exhale, that right hip's drawing back. Inhale and exhale. And then as you take your next inhale, again, spine lengthens up. And then as you exhale, release the hands down behind you. Interlace the fingers, press down through the knuckles, or you can take hold of opposite elbows if that's better for your shoulders. Open up through the front of the body. Maybe take the gaze a little up if that feels okay for you. And then release the hands, float the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, both hands down to the mat. Left hand on the mat, or here's an opportunity to use your block or your stack of books, left hand resting there. And then bring the right arm up and overhead, taking a twist to the right. Inhale and exhale. Option, keeping that left knee lifted, or curl the back toes under and lift that back knee. Press through the heel. Inhale and exhale. And then release that right hand back down to the mat. If you're using your block, push it out of the way. Both hands to the mat, and then step back to your downward facing dog. Paddle through the feet once again, or maybe just keep the legs straight. Your option. Inhale and exhale. And again, coming to stillness in that downward facing dog with the knees bent or legs straight. Think of a little bit more weight in that right foot and right heel. Lift the left leg up high. Again, toes stay pointing down, lengthen through the crown of the head, and then draw the left knee towards the chest, shoulders over the wrists, and then bring that left foot up beside the left hand. If it doesn't make it all the way there, just take that hand and help it forward. Lower the right knee down and curl the toes. Press into the feet. Inhale, float the arms all the way up and overhead. Think of that left hip drawing back. Inhale and exhale. And then as you release the hands down behind this time, interlace the fingers with the opposite thumb on top. Press down through the knuckles, or again, opposite forearm leading if you're clasping the elbows. Inhale and exhale, looking up, opening up through the front of the chest, energy in the heart, and then release the hands, float the arms all the way up. Exhale, both hands down to the mat. Taking that twist second side. Again, your hand can stay on the mat, or you can use your blocker books. And then bring that left arm all the way up and overhead. Think of lifting through the sternum. Curl the back toes under if you like. Lift that back knee. Inhale and exhale. And then letting that left hand release down. Again, moving your support if you're using it. Step back to downward facing dog once again. And then from this downward facing dog, let's release the knees down to the mat and curl the toes. Come back to child pose, this time with the hands back beside the feet. Forehead to the mat. Use your support if you need. Maybe that blanket or cushion that you have if you need a little support there. Letting the head rest. Inhale and exhale. And then sweep the arms again back in front, press up to table pose. And this time from our table pose, let's extend the right leg back, press through the heel. Left leg back to meet the right, come to a plank pose, lengthen through the crown of the head. Little core strength here. You can always bring your knees down to the mat for a little bit more support if you need. Inhale and exhale. Now sit bones up and back, come to downward facing dog. Again, knees bent or legs straight. Inhale and exhale. Now energy down through that left foot. Lift the right heel up once again, right leg up, three-legged dog, and then draw that knee towards the chest. Step the right foot all the way up. This time, drop the back heel, pivoting on that foot. Line up the right heel with the arch of the back foot. Sweep that left arm forward, up and around. Come to warrior two. So arms extend out, nice vertical axis of the spine. Make sure your right knee is right over top of the ankle. Look out over that right middle finger, press into the feet. Imagine you're sending the feet away from each other. So the right foot forward, the left foot back. Inhale and exhale. Then bring the left hand to the thigh, turn the right palm up, sweep that right arm forward, up and back. Come to peaceful warrior. Gaze can be directly forward or up towards that upper arm or down towards the back foot. Whatever feels best for your neck. Inhale and exhale, then come back through that warrior two. And then both hands down on either side of the front foot. Let's step back again to that plank pose, right leg back beside the left, lengthen through the crown of the head. Inhale and exhale, and then drawing lower belly in and up, sit bones up and back. Come back to that downward facing dog. Again, your option, knees bent or legs straight. Inhale and exhale, and then energy down through the right heel, lift the left leg up. Think of those toes staying pointed down. It does not matter how high the leg is lifted, whatever feels best for you. Look towards the hands, step that left leg forward. Again, bring the shoulders over the wrist, really draw that knee up towards the chest, and then step it all the way forward. And then turn that back foot to the side, left heel pointing at the arch of the back foot, and then sweep that right arm forward, up and around. Come to your warrior two. Get a nice vertical axis of the spine. Inhale and exhale, and then right hand, to the thigh. Sweep that left arm forward and up and back. Keep that bend in the front knee as you come to that peaceful warrior. Inhale and exhale, and then once again back through that warrior two. And then both hands down on either side of the front foot. Come onto the toes of the back foot. Let's take that plank pose one more time. Left leg back beside the right. Find that core strength. Wake up the core. And then bend your knees. Send your sit bones up and back. Come to your downward facing dog. Paddle the feet a little bit again. Inhale and exhale. And then really bend the knees. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Come to a standing forward bend. So feet hip distance apart. You can take hold of opposite elbows here. Let the crown of the head dangle down, or let your hands rest on your mat, palms up, fingertips towards each other, or even resting on your block or your blanket. Inhale and exhale. Let the upper body swing a little side to side if you'd like. Nice stretch for the spine, for the lower back. And then coming back to center, bring the hands to the hinge of the hip, press into the feet, draw the shoulder blades together, lengthen through the crown of the head, nice long spine, come all the way up to standing. And once you come up to standing, just find that connection with the earth. So feet grounding down, think of the inner arch of the foot lifting, the kneecaps lifting, sternum lifting, energy through the crown of the head, arms down by your side. Close the eyes, take a couple breaths, just notice how you feel. And then gently with the eyes closed, bring your right hand to your lower belly, your left hand to your heart. Again, a couple more breaths. Just connecting with how you feel right now. And as you're ready, just gently again, let the arms release down. And let the eyes gently open. So thank you so much for joining me today. Again, that's a flow that I like to do first thing in the morning. Just kind of gets the body moving. Nothing too strenuous, but kind of warms up the muscles a little bit, gets a little bit going for the hips and for the shoulders. That's a really good warm up to do before you're doing any kind of riding or any other activity where your muscles need to be a little warmer. So hope you enjoyed that. So please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel and check out the information below in the comments section about my website, Grey Horse Yoga. And I'd love to see you sometime soon in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.